Hey Maji owners, it's BGD here to do a quick guide on how to restring your girl. First, let's go over what you want on hand before taking your doll apart. The first thing you're going to want to get is new string. I'm not sure about the later batches of Maji that have been shipped out, but Haru left absolutely no extra string to work with on the girls he sent out in the first batch, so you'll need brand new elastic cord. Don't toss out the old stuff though. You can reuse the elastic used in the body to restring her arms. In my case, I am using 3.5mm thick cord for my Maji's body, and then reusing her original body string in her arms. You can generally find elastic cord locally at craft stores, but if not, you can pretty easily find it online. Many doll shops offer it in various thicknesses, and some also have different colors available to better match with your doll's coloring. I personally buy my string from Dollmore, but I've also purchased string from Alice's collections as well. Next, you'll want your preferred restringing tools. My restringing kit, so to speak, is made up of some spare thin elastic as well as a cord from an old necklace, as well as a lighter, pliers, and scissors. If I'm restringing a doll a bit tighter, I'll usually also grab some plastic crochet hooks or paintbrushes to loop the elastic onto. And lastly, you want a nice flat surface to work on so you can keep your doll's parts organized. In my case, I'm just using my floor. For those of you wondering about the lighter, I use it to seal off the ends of my elastic after cutting, since the ends tend to fray something fierce when left alone. You don't have to do this, but it does make things look a bit cleaner. If you plan to do this, be sure to hold the elastic above the actual flame, not straight into it. The elastic cord just needs to be within the heat to melt and meld together. Now to start with the actual restringing. Her arms are pretty easy peasy. If you restrung any doll ever, then Maji's arms won't be any different than the usual. In my case, I took her body's original elastic and cut it down so it was about 18 inches long. In metric, that's nearly 46 centimeters. Then I just fold the elastic in half and stretch it out over the doll's arm span to figure out how loose or tight I want the elastic to be. Once you have that figured out, just tie off the ends into a knot. Don't pull it fully tight until you've tested it out in your doll, and doing those knots can be a bit of a pain. Next, you want to thread the elastic through the shoulder sockets. Try to make sure that knot stays in the middle of the bust so it doesn't screw up the tension in the arms. Then you just thread the elastic through the arm pieces. I sometimes like to use my scissors or chunky pliers to hold on to the end I'm not currently stringing so I don't accidentally tug the string out of that side of the bust. I also like to alternate back and forth between arms as I'm stringing them. I found it makes it easier to keep control of the distribution of tension between the two arms when I do it like this. I use the same method when I'm working on the legs. Now we can move on to the rest of the body. For the body string, I'm using 3.5mm thick elastic cord, and I've mine cut down to about 42 inches, or 106.7 centimeters. We'll be using the same trick as before to figure out where we want to tie our knot, though be sure not to actually tie it off until you have it strung through the hip piece. I've made that mistake a few too many times while recording this very guide. Now in the case of the body string, you'll want to fold it over twice like I have here. While this isn't how the stringing is actually put together in the doll, it's an easier way to figure out the tension you'll need. I would like to note that you'll probably want to place the knot lower than you originally think. The way the string is distributed in the Maji's body means there is only 2 strings going up through her torso instead of 4 like there normally would be in other dolls, so making the string tighter can help a lot in making sure the torso sticks more firmly together. Once you've figured out where you want to tie your elastic off, thread it through the hip piece as shown. Now you can tie your knot. Next, you will want to thread the elastic through the belly piece, and then on upwards to the bust and out the neck hole. Then you'll want to put your doll's S-hook through the hoop at the neck. If you haven't replaced the S-hook on your Maji, be sure to keep an eye on it as you're stringing the body. The hook on my girl likes to slip forward, and the top portion can end up digging into the neck. After putting the S-hook on, this is a good time to get the knot positioned how you want it within the torso. I usually place mine up into the bust piece. Then you push all your pieces up the elastic and pull out the loops for the legs. This is an excellent time to stretch the elastic out next to the legs to make sure you like the tension. If not, it's very easy at this point to retie the knot without having to completely restring the torso. Then you just string the legs together like you did the arms. I suggest alternating back and forth between the 2 legs since making sure the tension is right is much more finicky with a doll's legs than their arms. and just hook the feet on and you're done. Whenever I'm first restringing a doll, this is usually when I go about stretching the pieces out to make sure the tension is evenly distributed. And then I also just generally handle the doll to figure out if there's anything I want changed or not. And that's it for my guide. I hope it was helpful for all you new Maji owners out there, since I know she can be a bit finicky to deal with. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. I'll try to help within the best of my ability. I'll see you guys in the next video. Put your doll's S-hook through the hoop at the neck. Jesus.